We're going to take all of your questions on today's Chicago Bears mailbag. My name is Harrison Graham, but I did want to start with this rumor that's been floating out there. Could the Bears trade for Frank Clark, who, of course, was with the Chiefs for a long time? Ryan Poles was in that front office. The Broncos signed him late in free agency this year. Report out of Denver is that Frank Clark and several other players could be made available on the NFL trade market. Now, my instant reaction to this is, Frank Clark is not what he once was. He's battled injuries the last few years. He's only played in 2 games this year because of that, has 0 sacks, is not even starting when he is healthy. So, it's one of those deals where it's like, I don't know how interested I honestly am at this point. Now, what I will say is this pass rush could use as much help as it can get, right? I know the Bears had 5 sacks last week, but only 3 were from defensive line, and they were late in the game. The D-line ones. Like, Flus is having to dial up more blitzes, which he should, because the front 4 can't get home consistently. My point, though, is Frank Clark has not been a high sack guy in years. He has not had more than 6 sacks in a season since 2019. That's not even, that's a career ago for some players in this league. So I'm not interested. He's a rental. That's a trade that a veteran team makes to try and get over the hump. Honestly, a team like the Chiefs to try and bring a familiar face back to make a late push. So I don't think the Bears are that team, but obviously the Ryan Poles connection makes it interesting, and we know that this defensive line has had its struggles. But maybe you disagree with me. Should the Bears trade for Frank Clark? Type T for trade, or you can type P for pass. I'm passing on Frank Clark. I don't think it makes sense given his contract and where the Bears are right now, but at the end of the day, I guess he would help this defensive line, but I'm still going to pass. I hope you guys don't pass on subscribing to the channel. This is the real number in real time if you're watching live right now. If you're watching this later, hopefully we've hit 76,000 subscribers, but we're trying to get to 76,000 subs because we're growing, and you guys are awesome, and we appreciate everybody who's subbed already. Type sub if you are a subscriber, but if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's 100% free. You could be the 76,000th subscriber. So if you want daily content, news, rumors, injury updates, and a lot more, let's get to 76,000. Come on, hit that sub button. We lost one. Oh, no. 7 away. My heart just got broken. The Bears, is the Terrell Lewis cut coming back to bite us? I don't know. I mean, you can't tell me he'd be worse than Domrob, but at the same time, if he was that good, wouldn't he be playing somewhere? Isn't he still on the Saints practice squad? I would have kept him. I don't know why they cut him and brought in Khalid Kareem, who wasn't active the first few weeks, then went to IR. Kind of feels weird. Wasim. He says, Bear down, FGB, F Minnesota, F Detroit, and F Don Burr, who of course is our resident Lions fan. What's the probability Roschon plays this weekend? It's hard to know. 50-50. If it was not a long week, like if it wasn't 10 days between games, I'd say it's like 20%. Typically, with the modern concussion protocols, if you get a concussion on Sunday and your team plays the next Sunday, it's, I'd say, 1 in 5 chance that that player plays. But with the Bears playing on Thursday, having the 2.5 extra days, I do think there's a decent chance. So 40%, 50%. I don't know if it's great odds, but I think there's a chance he clears protocol. Papi Chulo sits. Bears trade the number 1 pick to the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. Honestly, no. Not the number 1 pick. Now, if you wanted to trade the lower of your 2 picks for Micah Parsons and maybe even add a 2nd pick, I would consider that, but I don't think I can trade the number 1 overall player for 1 defensive player. Or number 1 overall pick for 1 defensive player. I know that sounds crazy. Parsons is unreal, but I think you can get more in a trade for that pick because teams want Caleb Williams that bad. So I don't think I would go that route. I appreciate the super chat. It's an interesting idea, but I think I would have to hang on to that pick and hope for a bigger trade package. Now, if you want to get great meals quick, easy, and for 50% off, Factor is the company for you. Factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Code BearsChat50 gets 50% off, helps you get started today. Adjust your stride this autumn without missing a step. Choose from Factor's 34-plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh and never frozen meals that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. Producer Rolly and I's favorite one that we've had so far, that loaded bacon chicken. It is fantastic. Maybe you're looking for calorie-conscious options during the busy season. Try delicious dietitian-approved calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. They have all kinds of meal options. They have protein shakes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, different options available. The best part and the most consistent part about all of it, takes less than 2 minutes to prepare because they've done the preparation for you. If it's a microwave meal, you throw it in there for 2 minutes, you're good to go. Some of them are non-microwavable, and they're just little grain bowls, protein shakes, whatever. You take them with you, boom, ready to go. Get going with Factor today. They will deliver these meals straight to your doorstep. You can choose exactly what you want. Head over to factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Use code BearsChat50 to get 50% off. That is code BearsChat50 at factormeals.com/BearsChat50 for 50% off. Pick your meals, prepped and cooked to perfection. Eat, and enjoy. You're not going to be disappointed with Factor. F. Marsh. She says, if the Giants trade Leonard Williams, how much would you give up for him? I actually talked to Marsh about this because he's our Giants now host of our Giants channel here at Chat Sports. And you just look at the numbers here, contract year. I kind of guessed it was like a second, third-round pick. He's been good in the past. But now looking at the numbers, the descending sack totals and overall production, he said maybe like a fourth-round pick because he is going to be a rental for a team. So quick trade idea just cooked up here. Fourth, the Philadelphia pick, the one you got in the trade down on draft night last year with when they got up and got Jalen Carter. Late fourth-round pick, most likely, unless Philadelphia collapses. So I'd be intrigued. I mean, I think if you're going to trade for Leonard Williams, you'd want to give him maybe a 2-year extension, keep him here for a couple of years. He's been a good player in the past. What say you? Would you do this trade to bolster your defensive line? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I wish I was getting Leonard Williams from a couple of years ago. I still think he's got some of that in him, but he definitely doesn't appear to be in peak form at this point. Y for yes and for no. Would you do this trade for Leonard Williams? DC Viper, could the Bears trade in division for an edge like Danielle Hunter? Well, the Bears are going to get a up-close look this week at Danielle Hunter. I'd be open to that. I'm not trading either of my first-round picks to do it, but would I trade a second-round pick? Maybe. What you don't want is a Claypool 2.0 situation where you trade a premium pick and you get nothing. Now, I got to think a guy like Danielle Hunter is going to give you a lot more than a player like Chase Claypool, but I do wonder if that thought crosses Ryan Pohl's mind of, hey, I got to be careful here. I can't make the same mistake twice. Ben Seaton, do you think the offense is turning a corner despite all the injuries? Absolutely. Like, the last 2 weeks has been a completely different offense. There's just no doubt about it. That's regardless of opponent. Like, I know Washington, their rankings defensively this year are lower than expected. That's still a tough front to deal with, and you're dealing with a banged-up offensive line that held up against that group. I thought that was impressive. Justin Fields definitely looks like a more confident quarterback, and DJ Moore is just making plays all over the place. So I definitely think they're turning a corner. Now, is it like they've turned such a corner that they're going to blow out the rest of the season? I wouldn't say that. I think we need to see more, but I'd feel pretty good about where this offense is heading right now. Computer Kid, what do we need to do to be a contender? Well, your quarterback needs to keep playing well. I think you need to stay balanced on offense. I like the explosive plays you're getting, but if you can continue to run the football effectively and chew some clock when you need to, that's huge. I mean, teams that can, especially late in these games, get into that 4-minute offense mode and just really pound the rock and throw play action off of that to extend drives. Like that, I don't know, if you watch Chiefs-Jets a couple of Sunday nights ago, the 8-minute drive for KC to ice that game, that stuff like that, right? That's what the really good teams do. So they got to do that, and they got to be opportunistic defensively. I don't think this defense is going to be awesome, but 2 takeaways the other night, 5 sacks. If you can get the quarterback down and get a couple of takeaways, then you got a chance. That's what they need to do. Now, are they going to be a true contender this year? I doubt it. Could they sneak back into playoff contention? Well, you win the next 2 weeks. You get to 3-4. Heading into Sunday night against the Chargers, you're back in the hunt. Get back into the hunt. That's all I'm asking. Your boy Boogie, do you guys still think Flus will be fired after the season? I mean, if the season ended right now, I'd probably say yes. You're 1-4. He's 4-19 overall now. Is that correct math? 17 games last year, 5 this year. No, 4-18. Yeah, I mean, if it ended like this, but if they rally to 7-10, he'll probably survive. Now, do I want that? Probably not. But let's see how it plays out. I'm willing to see this play out. But he still has a lot to prove, in my opinion. Who you got this week? Big game. Pair of 1-4 teams. I'll tell you what, for a pair of 1-4 matchups, this feels like a pretty exciting game. Both offenses are good. Both teams are desperate, especially the Vikings, I would think. They've lost a bunch of close games. Obviously, the Bears know they've started behind the 8 ball. This should be a fun game. Type CHI for the Bears or MIN for the Vikes. Let me know who you got in this matchup. TU Box, do you think Darnell Mooney is going to do something? I think so. Look, he got open a few times in that Commanders game. Him and Fields didn't connect. I thought on the first play of the game, if Mooney keeps running, it's not a perfect throw, but I think he's got a chance to catch it. Instead, he kind of got turned around and tried to jump back for it and was unable to get that one. Fields missed him on another deep crosser. I talked about that on our Bears-Vikings preview video. Go check that out by subscribing. If that connection could get going, then this offense really is going to be tough to stop. Stone Palco, do you think the front office should stay back on deadline day or be aggressive? I got to see how the next couple of weeks go. I'm open to making trades. I don't think there's a single trade out there where I would trade one of the first-round picks. I don't. I'd be hesitant to trade a second-round pick, but for a young, proven asset, like more proven than Chase Claypool, for example, I'd be open to it. But I could see this team being like, middle of the road trade, like trade a 4th-round pick for a pass rusher that can help you or something like that. So I think mildly aggressive could be in the cards, but I think it depends on how the wins and losses go over the next couple weeks. Season Dragon, what pick is the highest you would pick an edge in the draft? Who are the best edge prospects in this draft? Well, you got Dallas Turner out of Bama. You got Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think it's in flux right now, obviously. I think, in that 5-ish range, I think players that for sure should go ahead of them, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and I'm not just saying who the Bears could draft, just in general, players that would go ahead of them. Those 2 quarterbacks, I think Olu Fashanu, Marvin Harrison, and probably even Brock Bowers. I think those 5 players are the 5 blue-chip prospects right now. I think Jared Verse is right after that. I think Dallas Turner is in the mix there as well. So, between 5 and 10, I think. So, if you got 2 top 4 picks, I don't know if I'm taking an edge at 4. And maybe I'm trading down to get one, but that's just kind of where I see it right now. 2.0, 1 point, is Justin Fields safe? Is it a winning record or personal growth more important? I think how he plays is most important. Now, you can't be 3-14 like last year, but if he plays well as a passer, like he has the last couple of weeks, and they get to 7-10, if he throws for 3,830 plus touchdowns, that's substantial growth. He threw for less than 2,300 last year. Now, he's not going to run for 11-something like he did last year, but that's okay. He's looking to throw the ball downfield. If he throws for north of 3,500 and runs for well over 500, which he's still on pace to do, that's 4,000 plus yards, and he's on pace to throw for 37 touchdowns. Did any of us think that was possibly in the cards? I don't know if he'll get to 37, but 30 plus is definitely attainable. So I like how he's looked the last 2 weeks. Let's keep building on it. All right, if we didn't get to your question, I apologize. At HGramNFL on Instagram and on Twitter is where you can ask. I got a lot of DMs to catch up on. I will do that before our next live stream, I promise. So hit me up at HGramNFL if you got any Bears questions.